Imagine this. An asteroid comes hurling down from space and lands near Gotham. This asteroid is checked out by scientists and other governmental figures alike. And this asteroid itself seems to be kind of holding an alien species, but they're not sure what's going on or what it truly is. So what they do is they wait. They do tests, they try to figure out anything about this asteroid that came hurling down from space and landed in Gotham. But what they didn't know was that there was a small crack that was eventually going to ooze out this black-like liquid, and it was going to sneak away through person after person. This black-like liquid would be known as Venom. And Venom would be creeping around the city of Gotham, and not a single person would know of its existence until the crime world would begin to get flipped on its head entirely. And this is what we'll be talking about today on the idea of what if Venom was a Batman villain. This idea wasn't really brought up much in the comment section. Maybe it was. Maybe there was some random person or some amazing person that suggested something like this. But I really do love Venom as a obviously as a villain. I love the creature aspect of it. I love the idea that it can bond with a host and so on. And I think Venom as a Batman villain could have some insane potential, like insane potential, right? I think we all loved, for the most part, Spider-Man 2 or Insomniac Spider-Man 2, and we all looked at it like, whoa, this Venom is awesome and so on. And it was really, really cool seeing kind of Peter and also his best friend be taken over by Venom, right? I think that having that aspect of the whole Harry Osborn type of Venom symbiote was a amazing thing. But I also believe that watching these other people be taken over by Venom was one of the most kind of amazing things to watch. And that would include, obviously, Peter, MJ, right? These people seeing this was absolutely awesome. So imagine if you had Venom in the Batman or the DC universe, and you had him in the city of Gotham, right? What would change? What would happen to Batman? How would he have to deal with Venom? What would he do to deal with Venom in general? Because we know Batman is extremely smart, extremely capable. So in a technical sense, would he be able to find out the weaknesses of Venom? Of course. I truly believe that Batman would eventually figure out that he could use sound, he could use fire, and other various things to defeat this kind of alien-like creature. I mean, I know it's going to be what a lot of people will call Batman glazing, but with prep time, with time to figure out what this thing is, I think Batman would have really no trouble dealing with it necessarily, at least at face value. Because how about this? Batman versus Venom. But it's not just your typical, normal Venom, right? It's not your person that has no kind of already powers. What about Venom or Venomized, or whatever you want to call it? Maybe a Venom that is bonded with Bane, and you have him go against Batman. This is where the playing fields change for someone like Venom. Yes, it does add the extra weakness to, obviously, Bane himself, but there's always a limitation to how much certain things will affect a bonded individual. Now, let's think about a Venom and Bane crossover. I mean, Bane is already a powerhouse. We're talking an absolute freak of freaking nature. So dealing with a Bane who is even stronger, even faster, has even more kind of utility in his kit because of Venom himself would be absolutely ridiculous. There's one way that Batman, for the most part, defeats Bane, and it's using his speed, his wit, his agility, all of those things. But imagine if that gets, for the most part, thrown out the window. Bane's able to utilize the Venom in a way where he can cover the weaknesses of his lack of agility or maybe his ability to move properly in closed spaces, and so on and so forth, it would be a frightening thing. But even so, if Venom was a Batman villain, I mean, imagine a clash between Venom and Bane. A fight between Venom and Bane would be a brutal display of strength. We're talking brutality at another level. I mean, Bane, already enhanced by the drug, well, ironically enough, called Venom, would see kind of this symbiote as maybe either a way to upgrade himself, maybe upgrade the Venom drug and go even further, maybe a way to supercharge himself and give him regenerative powers and this or that, or maybe he takes on Venom itself to kind of assert dominance to gain that power for himself. But at the end of the day, Batman would have to be dealing with a supercharged Bane, a completely different version, now bonded with the alien symbiote, and it would be a scary thing. And I know some of you are thinking, who else are we going to talk about? Of course, we have to talk about Joker, right? Venom and Joker. Joker would be terrifying. Very, very maybe similar to a Carnage-esque type of bonding. I know it's technically with blood and stuff like that, but I mean in terms of the kind of psychotic aspect of it, right? But Joker might be able to kind of use Venom for his own chaotic schemes and kind of push to basically unleash this crazy mayhem over Gotham. We know Joker's already extremely agile. He's pretty damn strong himself, and he's a threat no matter what. But giving him the power or strength or agility or kind of the utility that someone like Venom would have to combat basically people like Batman, it would be absolutely insane. I mean, we have this twisted version of the Joker, or the Joker who kind of feeds into this madness, but then we have Venom's absolute brutality where you can have immense strength beyond freaking belief. But the one person that I believe would be the scariest, and I've done a video on this before, but imagine a Venom or a Venom combined, or kind of the symbiote for Scarecrow. Scarecrow's fear toxins could be used at a different type of scale, right? We're talking the main thing that Scarecrow always lacks is the fact that he's physically not strong enough to take on people, right? He's not physically ready to take on someone like Batman unless he gains an advantage through fear toxin. Now imagine his ability to spread the fear toxin while using Venom. It would be absolutely insane. Maybe even to the degree of using Venom to spread that fear toxin and then kind of consuming the entirety of Gotham, right? Using the Venom and also the drug for fear, the fear gas of some sorts, or the fear toxin, to induce different types of terrifying villains. Maybe we'll be able to create even new villains out of a fear toxin / venomized kind of people that maybe are in Gotham in general. And to kind of segue to that is we got to talk about a potential Venom takeover, right? Is there a world where Batman is forced to stop an entire takeover by Venom? Yes, I truly believe that there is a chance, of course, that maybe Gotham is infected under the nose of Batman. Maybe Venom this time around isn't looking to latch onto one person and stop there. Maybe he utilizes one of the other villains that we've talked about, or maybe a different Batman villain in general, to kind of spread the infection or spread the symbiote, and begins to infect people after people and or person after person. And it would be a crazy thing, because now we're talking Batman's going to have to take on multiple versions of Venom, maybe even a venomized version of every villain he's ever faced in general. That is a scary sight for someone like Batman, and it's just something that Batman would kind of have to deal with throughout this time if not prepared for properly, right? Venom is a absolute predator. Venom is an apex predator, and he could treat Gotham like his own hunting ground. Very similar to Spider-Man 2, right? Where we have Kraven the Hunter do something similar, but maybe Venom sees this kind of place as a way for him to hunt his own food, but also hunt for powerful people to take over and powerful people that he can benefit from and massively benefit from. But like I said before, Batman has connections, like massive amounts of connections, so I could see him actually learning or figuring out that Venom exists in Gotham earlier on, so that you don't have to worry about a total invasion happening under the nose of someone like Bruce Wayne. Of course, you have your connections with Wayne Enterprises, you have Batman's tech, and he would be immediately trying to find scientific kind of capabilities that he can use, or advancements that to stop this kind of creature. And of course, and eventually, he would learn of it being sonic or fire-based technology, exposing Venom's weaknesses to give him the edge that he needs in battle. But another person, and really one of the main people that we didn't talk about much, is imagine a Venom that bonds with Bruce Wayne or the Batman. We've seen Batman, or just in various comics, be kind of under different type of circumstances, right? We have Batmans all alike. We have Batmans that are speedsters. We have Batmans that are the Joker, like the Batman who laughs, right? Imagine if we have a Venom Batman. I think a Venom Batman would be freaking outstanding and would look amazing. But what kind of bond or what kind of effect would it have on someone like Batman? Well, the Venom symbiote could see Batman as maybe one of the perfect hosts, attracted to his trauma, his anger, maybe utilize his desire for justice. I mean, it's the same thing kind of minorly in terms of with Peter, right? He saw Peter as the perfect kind of symbiote bonding person, and he used his want to help people and so on, and be strong enough to save everyone as kind of a weakness. So maybe Venom somehow does this for Batman to a certain degree, and this would amplify maybe Batman's darker tendencies, pushing Batman to become maybe even more ruthless, maybe even more violent, maybe even to kill. Now, we always talk about the moral dilemma that Batman has, the idea that he believes that nobody should take one other's life, and he believes that he doesn't push toward these lethal methods. But imagine if the Venom begins, or the Venom symbiote begins to speak sweet nothings into Batman's ear, kind of making that internal struggle and that resist of killing extremely difficult. Eventually making it so Batman doesn't pull a punch, doesn't stop himself from going that extra step, and forcing Bruce Wayne into these massive moral dilemmas that he's eventually going to have to atone for himself, because at the end of the day, Venom would be able to offer Bruce a way to protect Gotham way more efficiently, and it would tempt him with these superhuman abilities, right? But of course, we know Batman's moral code is extremely strong, so it would be really difficult for a symbiote to really influence Batman into a more lethal method, or maybe a more forcing of the justice, or the kind of more forcing of the vengeance instead of the justice, right? It would be extremely difficult for a Venom to do so. But of course, we could even have a Venom versus the Bat Family, or maybe even a Venom v Bat Family involving a version of a Robin, maybe, which could be interesting. And I know some of y'all are already thinking what I'm thinking. Imagine if someone like Jason Todd or Red Hood started utilizing Venom in a way to actually stop crime entirely. we know Jason doesn't have the moral code, or at least in a lot of versions of it, not the moral code that Batman holds on to. So imagine if he attaches to Jason Todd or the Red Hood, making him, I don't know, a lot different than you could possibly expect, right? He already is not afraid to pull the trigger, but now he has so much more power to basically push himself over that edge. He could be tempted to really lean towards the side of Venom, maybe creating even more tension than there already was between him and the Bat family. Batman would have to confront not only Venom, but obviously someone who he sees as one of his sons, or he sees as someone who basically was extremely close to him, or even borderline family-like person in Jason Todd. Has to save him from this alien-like creature that Jason Todd in his mind is only helping him secure Gotham itself, only helping him secure the future and the safety of Gotham itself, right? Venom could be a massive threat for a very long time. And let's just say, if Batman doesn't get an early jump on stopping Venom, on basically exposing the weaknesses, putting him away, and putting him down at least for good, which it's a little different when you're putting this thing down for good. It's not your normal human being by any means. But when you're trying to take this thing down, you gotta do it in a pretty quick fashion, because you don't want Venom to start bonding with some of your strongest villains. You don't want Venom bonding with maybe some people you care about. And at the end of the day, imagine a world, a Gotham, where Venom takes over Bruce Wayne, donning all the knowledge, donning the entire Bat family, donning every single plan Batman has ever created, utilizing the intelligence of Batman, and just taking over possibly the entire world. Imagine Venom, who is now bonded with Batman, comes up with a way to basically stop himself from being hurt by fire, by sound, and so on. Maybe a suit that does just that, and it would allow a Venom Batman or a Venom Bruce Wayne to proceed to take over Gotham, stop everything in its tracks, and eventually start creeping on some of the people and some of the superheroes that we hold near and dear to our heart. Now, I want to make this clear. I'm not saying Venom is some almighty, all-powerful being that wouldn't be able to be stopped. I know that's not true, and I know that in terms of strength and power, there's people in DC that would easily be able to defeat Venom. But we're talking about certain scenarios and certain kind of particular times and things that could possibly happen that would give Venom a kind of way out, give Venom a way to continue spreading kind of beyond just Gotham. And I think that this would be the way to do it. But if you ask me, what would truly happen to Venom if he was a Batman villain? Well, I think Venom himself would be massively beneficial to the villains, because, well, carnage would ensue, massive amounts of carnage. But I do believe that Batman himself would be able to find a way to neutralize Venom, put him in a container of high-tech sorts, and neutralize him entirely, allowing Gotham to be Venom-free. But at the same time, giving Venom to people like, well, the Scarecrow, Bane, the Joker, are very, very, very scary people to have such a symbiote. But of course, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about what if Venom was a Batman villain. And as always, if you enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. Make sure to leave anything, suggestions, and all that good stuff in the comments below. I always try to read them as much as I possibly can. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, YouTube believes that you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.